All right, good afternoon, everybody. My name is John Aldag, and I'm the Liberal Party of Canada candidate for the riding of Cloverdale-Langley City. Cloverdale-Langley City is one of the new ridings for the 42nd general election that's coming up in Canada on October 19th. And today we're doing a little bit of a behind-the-scenes view of what a campaign, some campaign activity, and today we're going to be putting up signs. So we started off in our opening with a image of the Gateway of Hope. For anybody who isn't from Langley, who may not know the story, the Gateway of Hope is a really important part of the Langley community. When I moved to town just over a decade ago, there was a vision of the community, including the City of Langley, the Township of Langley, and the Salvation Army, to provide much needed services to vulnerable populations in Langley. And through a great effort and collaboration, and through the vision of many of our community leaders, a facility was built, and the Gateway of Hope provides shelter to those in need. It serves meals to those in need. It just does fantastic work. And if anybody would like to learn more, you can Google Gateway of Hope, and donations are always welcome, so I'd encourage you to check that out. Anyway, you may wonder why we're at the Gateway of Hope today. Well, the interesting thing, we're going to be putting up a sign today, and just going to give a sense of what goes into putting up a campaign sign. In each municipality, they have rules about what kind of signs can be put up. In the Township of Langley, for example, signs have to be 6 feet in height or less. In Surrey, there are restrictions on what kind of property the signs can go on. In Langley City, they actually have some pretty tight rules. The Langley City municipality only allows locations at signs at two locations. One is under the hydro lines right of way on 200th Street, and so I have two 4x8 signs already posted in that area. And then the other location is here at the Gateway of Hope. As we broadcast today, if anybody has any questions, please feel free to send me messages. I have a cameraman running the camera today, and he'll be monitoring anything. And so I'd like to welcome everybody who's joined us so far today. Because I can't see where you're at, I just say a general welcome, and encourage you to follow what's going on in the current election that's underway in whatever riding you're at. And for those of you specifically in Cloverdale-Langley City, welcome, and nice to meet you. So what we're going to do today is, as I've said, is we're going to take you behind the scenes, what actually goes up behind those campaign signs. And before we do that, one of the questions people have is, why are these signs out there? I've talked to people who think campaign signs are ugly, that they clutter up our neighborhoods. And so the question is, why do we do it as candidates? Well, a lot of a campaign is about name recognition and party recognition. And so, as I said, I'm John Aldag. I'm trying to get my name out to the community. This is my first time running. And although I've been involved in a whole bunch of nonprofit boards and other organizations in the community, I still need to get known by the larger group of voters. And so that's one piece. As I said, I run under the Liberal Party of Canada, and so it's getting that out. And Justin Trudeau is the leader of my party, and so it's also having name recognition, and for our platform, and for our leader, and the great things that the Liberal government would do if we get elected. So I was at the Gateway of Hope on Friday. I met with the manager of the Gateway, and I wanted to make sure that I was respecting any kind of rules or desires that they have. So if you follow me, we're going to go over here just to the edge of their parking lot, and the area that we've been asked to be in is from the sidewalk to the sign here, and then over to the railing that you see by the ditch, and then back up to the sidewalk close to the light post. It's a fairly tight area. You can see no other candidates have a sign up within this area that we've been asked to put in, and so we'll have kind of first choice. When you're putting up signs, one of the big things is just trying to find appropriate sighting. We want to make sure that we're not blocking traffic sight lines, and we don't want to create a danger, and so that's one of the real considerations. And so we'll grab my material out of the van, and I have my trusty assistant here, my son Kai, and this is something that campaigns do, is they tend to bring family members in to help with volunteering, although I have others who have been out helping put up other signs. So again, if you have any questions, send them to me, and we'll take those as we go. I also will say that because it's a political kind of content that we're offering here today, anybody who's posting anything, I just request that you keep it respectful. Whatever your political views, I think that it's really important that we have respectful discussions in the country. And I think by being positive, that's the best way to build a great future for Canada. So send comments, and if there is anything, we'll do it as we'll try and deal with those as we get ready to put the sign up. So you can see here in the van, we're only going to do one sign today. I've had vehicles that volunteers have given us. So we have a workshop that's it's an acreage in town that has been given to us, and where we were able to build these 2 foot by 4 foot frames, pretty simple construction, and then the signs were printed locally, and then we mounted them on the frames, so they're all ready to go. That makes, when we get out to the install site, it just goes quite quickly, and that's a handy thing to do. Kai has a sledgehammer and some screws that we'll be using to assemble the signs. We also have our handy drill. We have our stakes that we need. So you can take those too. And then we have some braces. And one of the other pieces I'll mention just while we're here, whoops, is wind is always a big concern, so that's something to watch out for. What I was going to say is we have the bag signs, and these ones are something you will see around, again, in areas that are tight, where you can't put up big signs, so each party tends to use the bagger signs, and we'll be putting these up in the coming weeks. I think that you can't get too many signs up too quickly, and so we're trying to kind of space ourselves out a bit. So I'll leave this one in the van, and we'll grab the braces that we have pre-assembled, the sign, and dealing with the wind, we'll go down. So what we want to do, as I said, sighting is really critical, and we want to be sure that we're not blocking traffic. So we'll take the sign over now. The one that I brought today is single-sided, and now that we're on site and looking at it, it'd probably be best if we did a double-sided sign. And so I didn't bring any of the back ones, but I'll do that. Probably tomorrow I'll bring one down and just tack it on so that vehicles coming from both ways will be able to see this. So we'll get our sign positioned so that cars, traffic from both ways will be able to see it. Then what I'm going to do is lay it down, maybe dropping the head just a little bit, and we get our stakes in place. What we want to do is get this positioned, and so we have our pre-cut stakes here. I'm just going to get this ready to go in. And we had a really dry summer here in the Lower Mainland, and the ground was really, really difficult, even a couple of weeks ago before the big rains that we had last week. And so even this is quite a bit easier than we saw a week ago, just from that couple of taps that I've done. This one we will get that one started, and then we just want to sink them in. So that's the first step. Now, Kai, if you can hold it up. Let's get a couple of screws here. And we'll just sink. I'll kick it forward a bit. And that one didn't go in quite as I would hoped, but see here. There we go. Do this. throwing some over here. Well, if it looks like this, the wind's going to simply knock it over, as you can see is probably happened to one of my competitors' signs, and so they've had some wind damage sustained. So what we're going to do is just simply brace ours, and that's a pretty easy step here. We're going to take one of these pre-assembled ones and there, so we'll take a brace. Put that one in there. Throw in a couple of screws. There's one brace in place, and this one I think we'll put going this way, just to give it a bit different stability. Oh, this ground is much better than we saw in the last couple of weeks. Check, make sure that we're on the now we're going to take the screws and sink these in here. And there you have it, a campaign sign done. We have about 30 of these ones that we're putting up around the riding. I have about 25 4x8 signs, and then 1,000 of the baggers that I showed you. So that's a little bit of a behind the scenes with a candidate, and thanks for joining us today.